this is a probable cause affidavit, and they don't have to lay out their whole case here. They just have to make up probable cause.
They went through a very lengthy analysis of the cell phone. What people have to understand is the cell phone is not like GPS.
That the scientist and the science behind this, when they do match his DNA with the DNA that was found at the crime scene, I think that will be an extremely important piece of evidence. 51% that there was a crime.
This is Reporter Room with Jessica Davies.
Hello, Reporter Room investigators. Come on in, come on in. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we're going to be talking about the Bryan Kohberger case. And oh my gosh, there is so much to unpack here. Not only did Bryan Kohberger do a knife search and a purchase of the knife in March of 2022 from Amazon, but we are now learning that Bryan Kohberger also did a search for the K-bar knife after Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan were all done away with, you guys. This is catastrophic for the defense team, in my opinion. And we're going to talk about Tapatox in just a moment, so please stay with me. My name is Jessica Davies. I'm an investigative journalist, and my job is to investigate crimes, crime scenes, and potential suspects, and share with you how to do the same thing. If you have not subscribed to Reporter Room, please do. Like, share, leave a comment, and know that everything I'm sharing is my opinion and that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. This picture is believed to have been taken around 10:31 a.m. on November 13th of 2022. So just hours after Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana were done away with. And this is really, really devastating, in my opinion. It looks like he's had a shower. It looks like he came right out of the shower in this photo. And I'm just wondering if we know he returned back to the house, according to the prosecution. Allegedly, he is innocent until proven guilty. But we've been told by the prosecution that he returned back to the house around 9 a.m. that morning. Was that to look for the knife sheath? And then did he go through the house at that point? Was there a second pass quickly through the house? We had heard from the neighbors that the front door was opened for some period of time in the morning of November 13th. So did he run in really quick to see if he could find it quickly? And is that how the van's shoe print got left? Because this clearly looks like at 10:31 a.m. like he took shower, and he looks really proud of himself. And you could also see on the inside of his thumb, you can see what looks like blisters, multiple blisters on his thumb. And I believe, in my opinion, allegedly, that is from him holding that knife sheath. So let's talk about the Tapatox next. We have not talked about this, and I'm just wondering how this is going to affect the trial. So that he had an account when he was a teenager on an online forum called Tapatox. So his username was XR with 2 R's dot those with visual snow. And there was a profile picture that resembled BK. And I am talking about this case in terms of Bryan Kohberger. I do want to make it clear that he's innocent until proven guilty. So there was 118 posts from this account from more than 10 years ago. And many of them are very intriguing. We're going to look at some of these. But according to the New York Times, the account was connected to Bryan Kohberger. They were able to check through childhood friends. They were able to reference his birthday, and also the fact that a username matched an email account that was once used by him. So they did do their due diligence, which is why I like to use credible sourcing. So he joined Tapatox on November 1st of 2009, and he was last active on February 20th of 2012. And a lot of people have wondered if maybe the reason that Bryan Kohberger did not see Dylan when she peeked out the door that third time, if he is the perpetrator, is because of the visual snow, because it can affect you directly. So it can affect you here, but it can also just affect your periphery. So it could be here, or here. So if he just had it in his periphery, he might not have seen her, especially in the dark. So, but that's not what we're going to talk about. What I want to talk about are these posts and what these mean, and if these will play a role in his mental health. We know Ann Taylor is going to be bringing in the fact that she believes he has autism, according to an expert that I believe that was hired recently. So this was according to Visual Snow Initiatives. Visual snow, for those of you that don't know, it is a neurological condition that affects the person's vision, hearing, and quality of life. And again, it could just affect your periphery back here. It could be here, or it could really be here. I don't think for him it affected his vision. I don't even know for sure if he had visual snow or if he just had some symptoms and then he attributed them to visual snow. But he says, quote, "I always feel like as if I'm not there, completely depersonalized." And I thought, wow, that's very, very interesting. Let me pull up one of his posts, make sure we're all looking at the same thing. I move myself out of the way here. And I'm going to show you those enhanced photos in just a moment, so please stay with me. This is one of the posts, and it says, I have had this horrible depersonalization. Now, depersonalization is or derealization is a disorder that affects your self-awareness and your identity. But it's often felt as a sense of unreality or detachment from one's own body. Now, dissociation can be triggered by stress, experiencing or witnessing a disturbing event. But it can also just be transient. It can come and it can go. So was he really having depersonalization? Was he having some psychiatric um, things? Because let's go through some of what this post said. He says, I have had a horrible depersonalization go on in my life for almost 2 years. And so, obviously at this point, he's, feeling very distressed about this. I often find myself making human interactions, but it's if I'm playing a role playing game such as Oblivion. I can see what's going on. I'm slightly into it, but I can pause the game and focus on my real life. In this case, my life is the game, and my old self can be reached by pausing the game. But how? So it sounds like even at a younger age, and you can see this is the picture. Let me make sure I'm not in front of it, and I am. Let me move myself over here so you can. That is Bryan Kohberger. I in that picture, and the New York Times did verify that it was him. So he says, so it just sounds like already I don't know if he had symptoms of visual snow or if he just was feeling disconnected from other human beings and his interactions. He says, I often think of things that humans do, things I've done my whole life. I feel like an organic sack of meat with no self worth. And I'm starting to view everyone as this. So this is really concerning, that he was already, even as a teenager, not only viewing himself as an organic sack of meat, but viewing other people as an organic sack of meat. He said, everything I've done makes no sense. How did things get this way? How am I wearing this shirt? And who decided that humans wear t-shirts like this? Are we all just advanced animals with possession? Or is there more I can't see? I can't connect. So was this, an early sign of some type of, you know, disorder that he was just not connecting with other people? And as a teenager, obviously, if he is found guilty of this, he took it to the extreme, right? Viewing other people as sacks of meat. But he says, I can't connect. I view everything as I would if I was playing Oblivion, pointless and full of nothing, out of reality. I'm moving out of my house. My last holidays were already lived, but where was I? As my family group hugs and celebrates, I'm stuck in this void of nothing, feeling completely no emotion, feeling nothing. So he is able to express how he's feeling. And he's, telling us even as a teenager, he didn't feel anything. And he was viewing not only himself as an organic sack of meat, but starting to see other people as that. He said, so I'm wondering if this is going to come in either from the prosecution or maybe from the defense to, to show he was having trouble connecting with people even as a teenager. And I'm going to show you those enhanced photos in just a moment, so please stay with me. He said, as I hug my family, I look into their faces, I see nothing. It's like I'm looking at a video game, but less. I feel less than mentally damaged. It's like I have severe brain damage. I'm stuck in the depths of my mind where I have to constantly battle my demons. Am I here or am I fake? I feel myself slipping away. I hear screams faintly, but I constantly battle from it. What if I let go? Where would I be? If he is found guilty, I mean, if the jury finds him guilty, I think we know where this ends, but we'll see. It's up to the jury to decide. Would I ever come back to reality? I try to remember where I originated from, but I can't remember. I barely remember my childhood. I often fear being 80 years old, alone, and having faint memories of my parents, everything I missed out on. I think my father, what a good man he is, how I treat him like dirt because I have this condition and I can't take it. I might spiral out of control and lose myself in the void. I can't let it all go. All of these regrets I predict for my future self, all of these thoughts of remorse. I got this when I was in my stage of discovery. Now I look in the mirror and I see this sickly, tired, useless, and stupid man in the mirror. He is a complete disgrace. He doesn't even deserve to live. So he says he talks about remembering when he was 15, he would wander alone at 2 a.m. Everything was so generic. Nowhere felt like home. I saw things that were not there, a different reality. I felt eerie or alone. And he says, he used the D word, passed away during those nights. I felt like a criminal, but where was my record? I can't talk without flinching. I used to be a healthy blonde haired boy with blue eyes. And in a few years, I have darker hair, darker eyes, half the body weight. Where did I leave off? So this is really concerning, in my opinion. And he has, you know, according to this article, he has hundreds of these posts. Um, and the last line reads, when I get home, I'm mean to my family. This started when visual snow did. Now, I don't know if he actually had visual snow or if he was just looking up symptoms and attached it to this. We'll see if Ann Taylor decides she's going to present this or not. But he said, I can say and do whatever I want with little remorse. Everyone hates me because and I can't say this word, and if you're digging into the other half that. Um, so Thomas Art, she's a former friend of BK's, told the New York Times that BK frequently talked about issues with his vision. So I do believe, just from listening to his friend, it does sound like he had visual snow. He said, quote, I know it was something that really bugged him. He was basically to the point where he was neurotic about it. Well, we already know from, Ann Taylor that he, has obsessive compulsive disorder. In a July 4th post on Tapatalk titled, Can You Relate? He expressed low self esteem. And this is the one I just shared with you, where he feels like an organic sack of meat with no self worth, as I'm starting to view everyone as this. So I'm wondering, if this was the beginning of some sort of psychopathy, if what we're seeing here is somebody who's realizing they don't feel things the same way that other people feel things, and are having difficulty relating to his family. He talks about, as my family group hugs and celebrates, I'm stuck in a void of nothing, feeling completely no emotion, feeling nothing. Let's look at those enhanced photos together now. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section below. Thank you so much for coming by to spend a little bit of time with me. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.